Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. Let's get this thing started. Make sure y'all like and share the video on your way in. I want to let you guys know what the show gonna be about today. We all know the situation with Ashlee Jenae. If we don't, let me fill you in on it. This sister Ashlee Jenae is in an interracial relationship. Her husband sends her over to Zanzibar to propose and do all this romantic stuff. Make a long story short, they get into a crazy argument. So the argument was so crazy, the hotel staff had to give them different rooms. And then shortly after that, the sister Ashlee Jenae passes away. And they want us to believe that she unalived herself, which none of us do. We all can agree that this guy is our murderer. All right. All of the evidence and signs point to this guy. We know that you can get away with a lot of stuff in Zanzibar. We already did our statistics on that. You can do it yourself. We all got ChatGPT, right? You tell it what is the bribery rate in Zanzibar. You will see is almost half. Is at 40%. This white guy was very rich, okay? Meaning that if he's frequenting Zanzibar, which he had to, you don't just pop up one day knowing this is the place I'm gonna propose at. You scout the area first. So I'm thinking he already knew this is also an area where I can get away with a lot of stuff at as a rich white guy, let alone just a white guy, but a rich white guy. So he got away with murder. We got a lot of people putting content out there like that. And there's a lot of information online that will back up the theory that it is the husband. And you can theorize whether, black women got a mouthpiece on them. And I think that if the argument and the altercation was so big where they had to separate them, you ain't gonna win the argument against a black woman. And I'm gonna tell you something about rich white guys. They got a lot of ego. It's like Puff Daddy. I'm going to be honest with you. It ain't just a rich white guy. It's just a rich guy, period. Like, you ain't going to talk to me crazy. And it's like you got a bunch of guys around you leeching off you, right? And then they want to talk to you like you crazy when you the one is the rich one. And you putting them on. It's like she's dating him because he's a rich man, not the other way around. So it's one thing, right, that you ain't gonna talk to a man like that, but you ain't gonna talk to a rich man like that. Is a double ego bruiser, because as a man, you hurt my ego, disrespecting me as a man, but also I'm thinking as a rich man, you would never disrespect me, right? And so in my opinion, I think it's rage, ego, patriarchy. You can even throw red pillism inside of there. But I will say this, there's a lot of people covering this, and we also know that a lot of people doing a good job with pointing all of the evidence at the husband. I don't want to do that on my stream. There's a lot of people already doing that. I see that the main focus that the community have surrounding this case is interracial dating. And to me personally, I think it's a disservice to Ashlee. I think it's a disservice to Ashlee Jenae that we focus on interracial dating, because by doing so, we victim blame. What happens is, instead of us men having accountability about the out of control domestic violent rates among men versus women, and it ain't just white men versus black women, it's black men versus black women, white men versus white women. I'm here today to put my cape on for women. And I think Ashlee Jenae would like that. I think that Ashlee Jenae would, if she can speak from the grave, she would be standing with Sanchez and not these fake pro-blacks. Because a lot of these fake pro-blacks, they are guys who want to blame the woman for everything. and they want to say, well, she was a bad wench. She shouldn't have been dating outside her race. Well, guess what? Don't you know during the same time Ashlee Jenae was unalive, there were 4, 5 different black women unalive by black men, and we can share the cases. In the past 2 weeks, there's been 4, 5 different black women unalive by black men, and ain't nobody covered it. You know why? Because we don't want to take accountability as men to say, you know what, we need to quit putting our hand on these women, man. You know, I ain't mean to hit the laugh button. I bumped into my thing. I hit the wrong thing, but let me put my headphones on. Hold on a second, let me test my headphones. All right, we got the right one. So listen, we're breeding a bunch of little niggas that don't mind smacking a woman up, because let me tell you something. In these communities, you got a bunch of men that glorify pimping. You got a bunch of men glorifying pimping. You got a bunch of men that love to make an excuse and give the man an out. So in cases like Ashlee Jenae, they gonna always victim blame and find a way to make it her fault. I'm gonna say, no, man, it's the man's fault. He ain't got no business putting his hand on that woman. And this is a lesson we need to tell young black men too, because like I said, during the same time frame Ashlee Jenae was murdered, you had 4 to 5 other black women murdered. No one cared because it was a black woman murdering a black man murdering them. And that's why I said if black men really care, we would cover the cases where a black man is killing a black woman too. And this is happening very often. And I don't want to make it a race thing, because you can easily say black people hate each other. You can be racist among your own race, right? It don't go one way, just like people saying, well, it's because he's a white man that he killed her, right? I don't think we need to racialize it, because if he wanted to marry her, evidently he still had some chocolate love or he wanted some chocolate in his life. So what I'm telling you is, if that was a white woman that would have disrespected this man, she would have faced the same fate. Because it's literally a domestic violence issue, and it's literally a lot of men out there that ain't gonna take no disrespect from no woman. And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about it. These men, they won't do that with men. That's right. They won't do. A lot of these guys that I've seen smack the fuck out of a woman for talking to them crazy, they don't do that when a dude go to mouthing off at them. And no one want to talk about that, because I'm finna show you some stories today of black women being murdered by their baby daddies. And these are all cases that happened between 10 hours ago, yesterday, and within a week. These are very fresh, and ain't nobody covering them. In one case, the kids was killed too. So this case is juicy because it's a white man, but it's disrespect to Ashlee Jenae, because she's another female that's dying at the victim of domestic violence. And if you go look at the statistics, domestic violence murders are out of hand right now. You know how I know? I live in the #1 city for domestic violence. Go look up the stats. Las Vegas is #1 in the nation for domestic violence. Domestic violence homicides, meaning people getting murdered, women, and all of these domestic violence homicides is very often it's the man, it's the woman, it's the woman. So women out there, most of these women in my chat room can tell you they've dated a man at some point in their life that put his hands on them. That's scary. If I know for a fact half of the women in my chat room, if they been dating, you know, regularly, they had a nigga put their hands on them before. It's common, and it shouldn't be. And niggas will kill these girls if they feel disrespected too much, man. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just black guys, it's white guys too. I think what we need to point the finger at is men. I don't want to look at Ashlee Jenae and say, well, she shouldn't have been dating a white guy. I want to look at this man and say, y'all, Nick, just like these pimps that smack they hoes. If I was a pimp, I wouldn't beat my hoes. Because if you got to do all that, to me, that ain't pimping. The pimps that hit they hoes versus the pimps that they just, hey, man, let them go or whatever. Like, I'm one of them kind of pimps if I was going to be one, but I ain't going to talk about pimping because I don't know nothing about all that. I'm just making an example, like, that should be the conversation. Men don't want to have that. Men don't want to look in the mirror at us men. Shout out to CG. Men upholding patriarchy are responsible for femicide. I totally agree. That's right. In situations like this, we drop the ball as men to take accountability just because it's a white dude. But that's why I said I'm going to show you other cases of black dudes. These just happened hours ago. But that's my point. Like, the entire black community is spitting on this young woman's grave because domestic violence in the U.S. is at an all-time high. I don't know if y'all been looking at the stats. There's going to be a lot of women die this year because of some heartbroken, ego-broken ass nigga. That's right. Whether it be a black man, white man, I'm telling you something about butt-hurt ass men, period. Men that can't handle a black woman who got a mouthpiece. I know it's hard. Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna. You know why? It's a lot of men out there because these women got a mouth, man. And we know that once you piss these women off and they get loud and they go to saying all kind of foul, just crazy stuff to you as a man in front of everybody, right? Some of them are even a spit on you. They'll throw stuff at you. Oh, they'll turn up. You got to have a lot of discipline as a man. I ain't gonna lie, bro, because the law is working in her favor. A lot of these dudes, man, they snap and they can't sleep at night. They so full of rage. Their ego's so broken. I know what I'm talking about. See, men don't want to have this conversation. They rather just say, well, it's her fault. She should have got a black man. Should she? Her chances of being unalived by a black man probably are even higher statistically than a white one. Let's deal statistics, right? Not just emotional. I brought the statistics today, and we're going to talk about it. Because before I even play any video, I just want to share some of these statistics with y'all. When we talk about the Ashlee Jenae case, we have to ask ourselves, are we actually learning the right lesson or are we getting distracted? Because the data is very clear. In the United States, about 1 in 3 women will experience physical violence from an intimate partner at some point in their life. 1 in 3. 1 in 3. That's crazy. That ain't rare. That's not isolated. That's millions of women. Every single year, over 10 million people are affected by domestic violence. And when we look at the most extreme outcome, which is homicide, more than half of women who are killed by intimate partners. Listen to them numbers. I'm going to read this again. These are real statistics you can go look up. It's over 10 million people every year affected with domestic violence. And the most extreme domestic violence cases are domestic violence homicides. And more than half of women who are killed by intimate partners. We're saying that more than half of domestic violence homicides are women. I just told y'all that, though. You don't need the stats to know that when it comes to domestic violence homicides, that most of them gonna be women dying. It ain't a black or white thing, because when you doing these stats, we talking about white men unaliving their white women, black men unaliving their black women, and black men unaliving their white women, black men unaliving their Asian women. All right. And white men unaliving their Asian women, white men unaliving their black women. And when you look at it like this, is pretty much the common denominator is men unaliving women because of some sort of intimate, emotional love situation. Because as men, we ain't teaching our sons how to have a strong heart. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. One of the hardest lessons in life is having your heart broken. And I know what I'm talking about, because listen, think about this. The white man had proposed to Ashlee. He's proposing, so he in his romance mode. He love her, apparently. They get into an argument. What do you think a black woman gonna do after we get into a heated argument and I propose to you? She's gonna use the fact that you proposed to her as a weakness, and she gonna play on that to hurt your heart. Now that she mad at you, she gonna say, and I don't want to marry your BA anyway. I don't want to marry your, bitch ass anyway. She might throw that ring at you, back at you. You know that's gonna hurt you. You just got on your knees and proposed, and now she said, nigga, and fuck your proposal, that weak ass proposal. You wanted me, nigga. I didn't propose to you. You know how women can get. And I'm telling you, after this man proposed, y'all get into an argument. Now she dead. The worst time for you to hurt a man's ego is after he's been vulnerable and through a proposal. When a man get on one knee, he's vulnerable. He's putting himself at the bottom. He's letting it be known, I'm the one want to make this thing official, right? That's a bit of vulnerability, because a lot of, niggas hold out on it. So he over here in Zanzibar, he got it set up. I don't think he wanted to take no for an answer. I believe this guy was like, man, if she reject me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take it. I'm going to already book us a trip to Zanzibar where my people at, just in case I have to do something to her if she don't take this proposal. I'm a rich white guy. She taking all my money, goddammit. And she ain't just going to play me like all these other sugar daddies. And I'm catching feelings. You got a lot of black guys that, what I'm saying? Look at P. Diddy, how he was doing Cassie. He was getting her jumped on, breaking her nose, breaking ribs on a lot of his black women. This is more than just color and interracial dating. Men are out of fucking control, and we don't think it's a problem to smack a bitch, to show a chick not to deal with a man like that, right? Just like a lot of you guys was taken up for P. Diddy. Well, you don't know what Cassie did. Guess what? It don't matter what a woman do. You leave her alone, bro. You leave her alone. Why does the laugh button keep going there? So I want to have the real conversation today as a man and take accountability, because I know ain't nobody else gonna do it. And if you want to call in at any point during the show, the link is pinned. We have a caller calling in right now, and we'll be reviewing these videos shortly. Let's get this caller, man. I'm gonna grab me something out the fridge over here, man, to drink on, and it ain't no alcohol, right? I'm not an alcoholic, people. Sun Tzu, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining the show, man. What you got for me on this situation?
Peace, peace. What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sun Tzu, I can hear you. You can unmute my back. Yeah, what you got for me, man, on this situation? Do you think, where you stand with our focus? What should be the main learning lesson the main conversation we're having as men, because I can't speak for what the women gonna do, but I will tell the women, if they're using the death of Ashlee Jenae to talk about interracial dating, it's actually spitting in her grave, because she's gonna be one of many victims of domestic violence at the hands of a man killing a woman. And his white man would have done that to a white woman, because that's the kind of man he is. It don't matter if it was an Asian woman. It's these men, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. I had to learn this too. There's some black women out there that can really make you feel bad, right? Especially in public when they get the mouthing off and they get loud. And yes, it can make you have a lot of crazy thoughts. But weak niggas will give in and they'll want to hit the woman, beat the woman, even kill the woman. You gotta laugh that shit off. That'll make them women even more mad. Even if it's hurting you, don't let them know it. See, that's strong right there to me. And these the conversations I want to have when stuff like this happen, because I like to talk to the men about what we can learn from it and take accountability, because all of us got a homeboy right now that we know don't have no problem smacking a broad. He'll smack a chick quick. Every man under the sound of my voice got a homeboy that'll smack a chick up. And that's a problem. And all of y'all niggas know I ain't lying too. You probably got 2, 3, 4 of them. What's good, Sun Tzu?
Oh man, this topic is so multi-layered, but I do like what you're saying at first, especially about the interracial aspect. People shouldn't get lost in the sauce on that because, like you said, if it was a white woman, he'd have did the same thing. It'd have been the same outcome. I think people just need to be more aware of who they're moving with. People are so quick to jump in these relationships, and I'm not trying to throw any shade at her, but he was a rich man. She probably seen the type of things that he could provide for her, and maybe that made her dismiss certain things that she may have took pause to initially. But in relationships today, we were just saying this yesterday, discipline is so fundamental to life because discipline allows you to make good decisions for the foresight of your life. You don't make rash decisions in the moment. You can have foresight and see these mistakes. That's why a lot of people really need to listen to others, especially when they're elders or have been in certain situations. Take heed to what these people are telling you. Don't reject it as somebody trying to sun you or trying to say you're being dumb or something. Just take a second and check yourself when you're moving in the world, period. That's all really fundamentally I can say about it, man, is just discipline and watch how you move, see who you're moving with.
Yep, I would agree with that. Let me put this. I would agree with that, man. But these is the conversations we should have to honor this young woman's demise. Let me set this up for y'all real quick in the chat room. We're gonna start it. But let me pull up these screen shares real quick. Yeah, we can talk about Ashlee Jenae, but let's also talk about the Louisiana father that just killed 7 of his children plus another child in a mass shooting. This is a father killing his children. This is a domestic violence attack carried out on 2 houses. These are the things men are doing because our ego is hurt. We going up in there, we blowing our baby mama's brains out in front of the kids and shit. And ain't nobody covering these stories in the manosphere or nowhere. You see what I'm saying? And dudes will even get mad at me for covering. Why you ain't talk about Ashlee Jenae? Oh, you don't care about these children in Louisiana? I thought we supposed to cover all stories. See, y'all showing y'all true colors. Nope, let's just talk about this one. Why? Because you don't care about black women for real. That's right. You just care about victim blaming black women and saying, well, it's Ashlee Jenae fault because she shouldn't have been dating this one or dating that one. What about this black woman here? She's dating a black man. And that black man killed her children and was looking to kill her too. I can show you 4, 5 more cases within an hour. This just happened 20 hours ago. Look at the story, it's fresh. I can show you a lot of these stories, man, of black dudes out of control. Why? I ain't gonna say it's because they black. I'm not like y'all. I'm not racializing everything. Because guess what you can do, y'all? Guess what you can do? You can easily sit up there if you're a coon and you can show all of these black guys killing a black woman and you can say that's because we some dumbass black folks. You can say that's because black people are out of control. Black men are out of control. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that men are out of control. That's right. You can racialize this either way. You can say, hey, man, don't date white men because white men are out of control. Or, and I can show you another case of a black man killing his baby mama and do the same thing. I can say, look, don't date black men, black women, because these black niggas are out of control. Look at these stories. I'm not going to do that on either side, nigga. That's right. I'm not playing that game on either side. And y'all need to be careful with the people that is, man. It ain't about black or white. It's about men and women.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. We will get to those stories in just a moment, but we begin with the nation's deadliest mass shooting in more than 2 years. 8 children shot and killed in what authorities are calling a domestic disturbance in Shreveport, Louisiana.
The victims' ages range from Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. We will get to those stories in just a moment, but we begin with the nation's deadliest mass shooting in more than 2 years. 8 children shot and killed in what authorities are calling a domestic disturbance in Shreveport, Louisiana.
The victims' ages range from 1 to 14 years old. 2 other people were also wounded.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon joins us from the newsroom with more on what we know about the gunman. Sonia.
Tanya, authorities believe the person responsible for this mass shooting in Shreveport in a residential neighborhood targeted members of his own family. That man is now dead after a carjacking and police chase. Now police are trying to piece it all together and determine why someone would want to kill 8 children.
This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had.
Authorities in Shreveport called a briefing this morning on a domestic incident.
How many black YouTube channels covering this? This is the biggest mass shooting in the last 10 years. So you telling me the biggest mass shooting to take place in the past 10 years ain't being covered because of Ashlee Jenae? What's so special about the Ashlee Jenae case? Oh, a white man did it. Black women, they don't care about you unless a white man kill you, just like they don't care about black men being unalive unless a police do it. That's right! And the police gotta be white too, because guess what? Niggas get killed by the police in Memphis, Atlanta, and Birmingham all the time and don't nobody care. Yeah, you got black police departments that be shooting niggas and beat niggas up. If you from the South, drop a 1 in the chat room. I'm going to tell you some police departments because a lot of y'all Negroes be like, that's why we need our own police. Nigga, you must ain't never lived in Birmingham. Nigga, we got cities where the police department is all black and niggas still will get beat the fuck up in the alley. You still get some dope planted on you. Think that just cause you in a city and the police department all black that you good. See, you naive, you stupid. You stupid. See, and that's what I'm telling y'all about. It got to be a white person do it for you to get any love, for you to get the community to even cover it. Even with the police, because I told you, if a black police kill a black dude, it's not even news. It happens all the time. And I'm going to show you the police departments where you need to be careful with. Memphis Police Department, Birmingham Police Department, Atlanta Police Department, Jacksonville Police Department, nigga, Miami Police. All of these little southeastern big cities down here, these got a lot of black people on the force, or brown people, cute, whatever you want to call it, on the force, and you'll still get the same outcome. Still get the same outcome if you was in a racist town with an all-white police department with that black police department.
Incident from overnight near the crime scene. There were 2 homes. Neighbors were stunned as police revealed that 8 children were found dead, 2 adults survived and were taken to a hospital. Police believed one suspect was responsible for what they called a gruesome scene.
I know some of the suspect's children resided there. I'm not sure if at one point in time he lived there. We know he had ties to both residences, whether that was romantic relationships or kin. We're working to put all that information together.
The 8 children between the ages of 1 and 14 were found at one of the homes. 7 children were located inside that were deceased. There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape the residence out the back on the roof.
Can't leave out the NOPD.
Police believe the killer carjacked a vehicle to escape, leading them on a chase into a neighboring community that ended with the officer shooting and killing him. As they process multiple crime scenes, they're trying to figure out how someone could do this.
We expect to see a certain amount of violence when you enter this job, but you don't expect it to be delivered upon a child.
Again, they do believe the victims were all related to the suspect one way or another. No word on the conditions of the adult survivors. This is being handled as a very sensitive domestic violence investigation.
He was the father.
The threat appears to be.
It turned out he was the father. They got an ID on him now. This the biggest mass shooting in the last 10 years, people. 7 kids in one day, but he the father, all of them. Let's check this out.
Now to some heartbreaking news. Our nation saw its deadliest mass shooting in years when a Louisiana man shot and killed 8.
Ain't nobody covering this, though.
Now to some heartbreaking news. Our nation saw its deadliest mass shooting in years when a Louisiana man shot and killed 8 children this morning. Tonight, we're learning more about that gunman, Shamar Elkins, who was the father of 7 of those 8 slain children. Tonight, the community of Shreveport has been left shattered. The children, 3 boys and 5 girls, ranging in age from 3 to 11.
Police say the crime scene spans 2 houses. It ended when officers opened fire on the gunman during a police chase. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam is live now with new details tonight. Tim?
Liz, Jory, we now know the names of the 8 kids shot and killed, and we're also learning that the shooter had ties to the military and was known to police. This is a Facebook image of the Louisiana man law enforcement believe is a cold-blooded killer. Shreveport police identifying him.
But I wanna shift. I wanna actually go to some more stories, man. This story here was just this sister. Her name was Ashlee Elkins.
His past.
And this is like the oldest one. This is like 7 months ago, where, again, another domestic violence situation. A Negro beefing with his baby mama. And then eventually murders her. You know, the crazy thing about this right here, this is a common thing. Like, this is a 30-minute video. I'm just showing you another case here, Ashlee Elkins. Still a recent case.
I am not sorry.
Look at here. This is a different case. This man killed his child and his girlfriend. Domestic violence. Again, why don't black men want to address this? It's a problem, man. I'm serious. It's a lot of dudes that feel like, yeah, I smacked her. I killed her. She shouldn't have been playing with me. She shouldn't have been disrespecting me. She should have knew her place. This man said he ain't sorry. Let's hear him out.
I am not sorry for something I didn't do, and I am not sorry for the things I did do.
Mr. O'Neill,
All right.
Listen, stop. All right. Listen to me.
I'm not
You're not going to raise your voice again.
I'm not going to raise my voice again. I'm not.
I will have you removed from this courtroom. I can sentence you without you being present.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't conduct
I
yourself.
understand, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We need to be addressing niggas like look, this man's bro. We got problems we need to deal with, bro, and we just can't say, well, black women, get with you a black man and that's the solution. No, get with you a sane man. Get with you a mentally stable man, goddammit. And you ain't gonna know that just because of his skin color. I'm just saying, a lot of people want to turn this sister's death into a conversation about interracial dating. I want to challenge that. I want to turn it to one about domestic violence and men out of control, dog.
But I will say, I'm sorry for your loss.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. You name it, I've seen it. Shootings, stabbings, drownings, suffocatings, blown apart by cars, some DUI manslaughter cases, horrible things. This is the worst case I have ever seen as far as the facts go.
So here, you get my point. This was in Tampa Bay. Let's go to another one. Here go another black dude killed his pregnant girlfriend. Guess what, y'all? This was just 2 days ago. This happened 2 days ago, and we got one right here that just happened like a few hours ago. This one here is like, where the one is just a few hours ago. This one here's a few years ago, but it's one that I just played, y'all. That first one, that was just a few hours ago. That one's fresh. But this guy here, so this is 3 I'm giving y'all right here, back to back. With these 3 I'm giving you, 2 of them are very recent, because this one is 9 hours ago, and this one here is 2 days ago, where this black man kills his pregnant girlfriend. So let's check it out.
Tonight, the man accused of killing a woman who was pregnant with his unborn child is still on the run.
Kevin Fox is being charged with capital murder. Aniele Ruiz joins us live after looking into the suspect's past. Aniele?
Well, 24-year-old Kevin Fox pled guilty to assaulting Ashanti Allen less than 2 months ago, right before he allegedly killed her. The troubling part for victim advocates is the same day he took the plea deal, he walked out free. Tonight, the search continues for 24-year-old Kevin Fox, now charged with the murder of 23-year-old Ashanti Allen, the mother of his unborn child. Her family is speaking with us.
I cried because I miss her. I laughed because I miss her little humor. And then my tears start turning to anger.
Anger because they can't understand why someone would kill a woman who was 8 months pregnant.
That was your girlfriend. She loved you.
Yes.
You were supposed to love her back and take care of her. You know, you was her child's father.
Allen was last seen on Thursday of last week, but early Friday morning, her mom got an odd text message claiming she was leaving and not coming back. And when they tracked her phone, it led them to Kevin Fox's mother's home. That's where Allen's mother says she found Fox in her car.
She said, "Where's the shot?"
Now, what do we see? Shout out to Sister Betty, shout out to Citizen Man, shout out to me, myself, to Real Truth Growth, to D. Allen Warren, and Sister Katrina. I don't know if she's in the house. Shout out to her, to All Is Mine, Humbled Up, Adam. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you, Sister Betty. Shout out to FBA Faith in the house. And shout out to FBA. Guys, what's the common thing we see with all of these? In most of these situations where the black man is killing his lover, he's killing the kids too. Let that sink in. We just showed you a few hours ago, we had one of the biggest mass shootings in the last 2 years, and it was a black man unaliving his own children on some DV shit. We just made history, black men, for the biggest mass shooting in the past 2 years, black men. Are y'all happy? Are you proud? And it's a black father killing his kids. And I know why us black men rather talk about Ashlee Jenae being a bad wench versus black men being some insecure butthurt. Listen, in a lot of these cases, I can guarantee you a nigga wasn't getting his way. He's insecure, thinking the chick cheating. She might have cussed his ass out and hurt his ego in front of everybody. We got to talk about that as men, and it's coming. Look at all this, bro. We just made history. And within that, 2 days ago, this dude charged with capital murder for killing his pregnant girlfriend. This is a problem, and we don't want to talk about that.
Chauncey, where's the Chauncey?
Who want to hop on the call and chime in with?
He could at least told us that day. Ashanti could be over here.
It wasn't until Alan disappeared that her family says they learned about his past.
And I didn't know anything about the incidents until she became missing. Because if I would have knew that, he would have never been around my daughter.
And court documents reveal in 2019, Fox was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Got deferred adjudication, but he picked up another charge for assaulting another woman. That was eventually dismissed when he was convicted on the first case.
This a problem.
He served 2 years in prison, but in Ashanti Allen's assault case filed just last year, prosecutors agreed to a plea deal.
He pled guilty.
This dude around here beating women up like it's common, like we back in medieval Greece. And ain't nobody around him checking it or nothing. Black men ain't gonna talk about it because it's common, we know it, and we don't care about it until a white man put his hand on it. Hey man, stop hitting black women. Only we can hit them.
Sanchez, I hate to interrupt, but that last thing you said, the kids, what is making these men do this to the kids? What's the angle? What is I mean, it's crazy to try to think like a crazy person, but I don't understand why the kid.
It's because the kid is something that they created with this woman who they now have this heavy wrath, vengeance. You got to understand the kind of anger they having, where some of these dudes, the way that they murder these women, I saw cases way back in the past where some of these women are stabbed so many times that the knife handle is broken. And that, you see what I'm saying? Stuff like this. So when you got this much rage in you, that can easily bleed into the fact that these kids I made with her too, that rage can go to them in some of these psychos' mind. Like, they see a part of her in them too that they want to kill. Because it is now like, for something in them, hate everything about her, and that hate now extends to the kids too, because that's something about her too, if that make any sense. And then I'm telling the truth, because the dude who killed his kids, he stood up in court and said, "I'm sorry for y'all loss." What an evil dude. He said, "I'm sorry for y'all loss." Yeah, but that's my best guess. Shout out to Sister Bethy, just joined us. Let me make sure. Yeah, how you doing, Sister Bethy?
Hey, peace to the panel. Hey, bro Sanchez. How you doing? Hi, Sun Tzu. Peace to the chat. Yeah, brother Sanchez, these stories are just so common in our community, and not spoken about. It happens across our states, and nobody wants to, admit that it's mental health that's ignored. And I really, literally, when somebody loses control of their mind and they go off like that, that's really mental health. It's mental health. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
it
something about
is.
society that does not feel that our people shouldn't be diagnosed when our people suffer these conditions. Oftentimes, when they do diagnose our people in particular, they're either diagnosed as bipolar, which is oftentimes a a misdiagnosis. It's the community and the environment that we grow up in that puts us in the same diagnosis that war soldiers get. What I see is post-traumatic stress disorder. If you look that up, that's more in relation to how someone acts that loses control of their mind. And yeah, so it's mental health. I mean, he's not even in his right head. If he's the guy, like you just said, he said, Brother Sanchez, I'm sorry for y'all's loss, and I'm apologizing I'm not apologizing for what I did. Oh, that's
Yeah,
mental health, Brother Sanchez.
yeah,
Shout
that's
out.
crazy. That's definitely some psycho stuff. Shout out to you, citizen, man. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that, Sister Betty. I agree with that. Sure.
What's up, man? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of mental illness that men struggle with, but a lot of us don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody points it out to us, and a lot of times we bury the stress that we carry, and then it comes out and we explode the way that, you know what I'm saying, the way that we do. Like, I went off on people before. I mean, I ain't never put my hands on nobody, but you know what I mean? In past years, I've punched walls and kicked doors and, let out frustration that I've been holding in. So I know what it's like, and I know what it feels like. And if you look at the numbers, the self-deletion numbers amongst men, because right now we're just focusing on the men, that act out and harm other people, mainly the women and children. But when you couple that with the statistic of the men that just choose to harm themselves, it's an even greater number, and it speaks to a larger problem. And I think what we need as men is to support each other, right? Like take for instance, if a woman goes to her homegirls and say, "Oh, I just found out my man's cheating," they gonna give her a shoulder to cry on. If I go to my homeboy and say, "I just found out my girl cheating," they gonna laugh at
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
we don't have enough support for each other. And it's partly because we don't open up to each other as much either. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is one of the biggest issues that we have to address as men. I did a stream a few years ago talking about the self-deletion rate. Do you know every 22 seconds a U.S. military veteran deletes themselves? Every 22 seconds.
Damn.
And that's just amongst the military. That's why you see a lot of veterans wearing the number 22. That's what that's for. And when you count the men who aren't military veterans, that number is even higher. It's like almost every 10 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's a big problem that we got to deal with, and it starts with mental health. Because we can say, oh, it's PTSD, it's stress, it's this and that. And it's not a shot at Sister Bethy. She's absolutely right. But I think it's more than that. It's a lack of support coupled with the PTSD.
And then I think it's also over indulgence of like I wouldn't say pimp culture. And I don't want to just say all red pillism, but
It's that I know what you're talking about. It's that mutated He-Man woman hater version of red pill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the real red pill is about learning how to be a man and how to relate to women more effectively. But then there's been this infiltration of what I believe to be these down low homosexual men that hate women, and that's what they push and that's what they preach, and that's what's infected the minds of all these millions of men across the country, no matter what color they are, to, you know, to turn them into monsters, because we all got to deal with stress. If you're over the age of 25, you got PTSD, because we've all had to deal with trauma and we've all had to deal with stress. The key is, how do we deal with it? What is our support system? Who do we have in our corner to support us and help us get it off our chest? And for a lot of men, we don't have that, because I found myself in places where I've considered self-harm because I was under so much stress and so much pressure and had nobody to talk to, that I was like, I just want this shit to stop. I mean, I didn't do it, but the thought did cross my mind, and then I thought about my kids and my mom, and you know what I'm saying? And I came to my senses, but I know what it's like when you get to that breaking point and physical harm becomes, you know, it appears to be a viable option. Just not every man is capable of controlling himself to that level. You know, that's where the self-mastery comes in. You know what I'm saying? But to just, you know, we can't just chalk it up as, oh, it's mental health and it's PTSD. It's a lack of support coupled with the mental health and the PTSD is what I'm saying.
So I got to ask every caller on the call this question specifically about the Ashlee Jenae case. Because I say that if she was white, he would have did it too. So do you think this was racially driven, or one of these things where it's just a man, another one of these guys that, in my opinion, I think this sister had a mouthpiece on her, you know, and honestly, ain't you know, a lot of rich white guys, if they ain't used to dating black women and they get cussed out for the first time, it probably hurt them a little bit more. It's probably a little bit more of a culture shock. But yeah, it's some shit to get used to. You gotta have discipline with if a chick in public too, like I said. So that's what I'm thinking happened there. What y'all think?
Well, let me just answer the question, and I'll pass the mic. I think the racial aspect of the Ashlee Jenae story is what made it such, you know, made it so public. But it's got more to do with, I think, the relationship was toxic, and instead of the man walking away, he decided to stay and try to work it out and lost his mind. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that happens to a lot of men. And, you know, most men don't resort to physical harm, but obviously a lot do. So I think it's got more to do with the weakness of the man himself more than it has to do with the attitude of the woman. Because honestly, like, she was dragging him for years. I remember hearing about that couple when she started out. Tommy Sotomayor was talking about it, matter of fact, when she started out bragging about how she got a white man and he moved her here and she don't date black men and this and that. And then they had a falling out, and then she started exposing how the white man's broke and she pays for everything and this and that. And that's when it all started to, you know, go downhill. And this was like 2 years ago. So that means from then to now, you know, with everything that she's made public in terms of dragging him, we don't know what else was going on behind closed doors. You know what I mean? And he never spoke out and said, yo, this shit's driving me crazy. I need somebody to talk to. I need some help. He should have got some help. You know what I mean? But he didn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because
I don't think race. I agree with you though. I don't think the racial aspect has much to do with it, other than giving it more publicity.
I totally agree. Let me give a shout out to Jay Scaramella. That's facts right there, though. Said the tiny hats want us to believe it's mental health. This is spiritual warfare, demonic possession, MK Ultra. It's all the same. I think mental health is what you're calling spirit, because the mind is where the consciousness resides. So a person, that's why they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know, it's the same thing. That's part of the spiritual warfare. But the real spiritual warfare is to make everybody look outside of them and point at something else other than to take accountability. So it's like, I see there's a rise of cats like Ashlee Jenae husband, and I got several tabs open We just made history, black men. We just can't, the biggest mass shooting in 2 years. We just outdid the white boys. And see, when the white boys is doing it, it is racially driven toward black people. Now, when we do it, guess what? It's domestic violence. And a person can use that and still put the race on it and say, well, it's because black men are violent toward their women. But I don't want to put no race on it either side, even with the Ashlee Jenae thing. That's why I just said, this is some men in men, period. It's just in every group of men, there's a percentage of them that feels like because men can overpower women, we should kind of have the ability to discipline them. I know that some women gonna be pissed off about us, but yeah, I'm not making this up. There's some dudes out there that think y'all should be disciplined.
Disciplined. Yeah, it's definitely a system or like a tendency for men. Well, you know, like when you got power at a certain point, it's gonna corrupt you. So if you strong as all get out, and you really ain't thinking, you're not using your mind or anything like that, then yeah, you might lash out and just say, you know what, you cannot beat me. Matter of fact, I don't like you for even thinking you could beat me. And it's immature, it's animalistic. And I like what the commenter said. It's definitely spiritual. Shout out to Brother Sanchez, man. I ain't talked to you in a long time.
Much love to you, Llewellyn, man. I'm glad you. It's good to hear from you, man. Glad you hopped on. Yeah.
For sure, man. I've actually just been working on an intelligence a book. I'm publishing a book on intelligence, and a part of it relates to this because, like, I don't want to really just call all of these psychopaths low IQ, but in a way, that's what they are. Like they lack intelligence in a certain area, not necessarily the standard intelligence like reading and writing and arithmetic, but like the emotional intelligence and just the social intelligence.
That's what it is.
Yes, self-control, self-intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not necessarily something that we can do about it as much as we can talk about it and be prepared for it when it happens so that we can do something in the future then, but not necessarily there's nothing we could have done about that except to just know, like the woman first did when she came on. Look, it's a mental health thing. We got to be really aware of mental health and know that people can be off their rocker. And there are signs, and you need to learn them and heed them.
Salutes to that. Let's go to Sister Becky. We get some echo from. Hold on a second. Llewellyn, turn your YouTube video off now that you on the call. That's probably what it is. Go ahead, Sister Betty. Salute.
So earlier when I responded, I was just speaking on the cause. And I agree with Citizen Man 100% when he says, you know, he spoke about, I spoke about the cause of it, the real issue, mental health. I didn't speak about the cure for it. What could we do to cure, which is basically what Citizen Man was saying. And it is definitely true. There are not enough, it's lack of community support. And there's not the programs that they have to help men and women with their mental health behaviors and things of that nature. Are a lot of them are religious based, and that's what turns so many people away from joining support groups, because a lot of the support groups are religious based, and a lot of people don't really take religion that well in order to, you know, as a coping mechanism, may I say, to cope with themselves and things of that nature. So they don't go, they're reluctant to go. So there's definitely a lot of lack of support, especially programs for men per se, period. And I don't like to put things in a racial manner. It's a black thing or black and white thing, because this type of behavior happens in all races across the world. There's men that unlive their families in all races across the world. This is not a race thing. Even if it is a black and white relationship, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's about self-control. And it's lacked in many communities. But,
Nah,
I
that's
just hope we
facts.
are able to get more programs to help people. Because this is bad and it's
We,
real hurtful.
us men are the program. Let me say one thing. And Llewellyn, I think you still maybe have your YouTube broadcast going. Yeah, once you on the show, you can cut off your YouTube. That way we get rid of the feedback. I want to give a shout out to Dodge J, saying salutes for covering this. Thanks for the super chat, Dodge J, and shout out to Jay Scaramella once again. Oh yeah, I shouted you out, but yeah, salutes to you, Jay.
Yeah, so to what Sister Bethy said, she took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the only real support that men have is in the church, but not everybody go to church, you know? And another issue that, I don't think we're really considering is substance abuse. A lot of these guys, they do shit and then they say I was drunk or I was high, you know what I mean? So we got in terms of the coping mechanism, because of the lack of support, these guys turn to substances to try to cope with the situations that they're in or whatever it is that they're dealing with. And those substances remove their inhibitions, and now the emotional stress causes them to lash out, because it's very hard to practice self-mastery when you can't even stand up and pee straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another issue that we got to talk about.
Yeah, like I said before, man, I don't think it has really anything to do as far as the racial aspects. I think before when you said it, you hit it on the head with the money and power aspect. When you're dealing with somebody that's got money and power, especially on a level like that, and you say, somebody might have a real slick mouth and they ain't used to being talked to like that, or they're used to dominating a situation, or however may have went down. Power and in certain relationships, it don't always have to be money. It's just power, however they can control it. So in that dynamic, I think it was just she threatened his power somehow, some way. And
See,
he took care of the situation the only way he knew how.
Sun Tzu, good stuff, man. I'm gonna piggyback on this, right? Because everybody want to say, well, what women should learn is to quit dating white guys. Here's what I'm gonna say, you ain't gonna like it. What we need to be teaching these women, if anything, quit thinking that, they running behind sugar daddies and rich dudes, right? But the thing about a lot of these rich dudes, they ain't gonna take no disrespect from no woman. And the thing about a rich dude, they can get rid of what they doing to you. For example, P. Diddy was getting his women draped when they, and he was beating them, getting them jumped on, all kind of crazy shit. Damn near close to getting a hit out on them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, rich dudes do this, man. Like, a lot of girls think it's all fun and games, but the rich guys is the ones you can't be talking to crazy. Like, if you fuck around and, okay, I'm dating Puff Daddy, girl, and yeah, you can't talk to him like you was talking to goddamn the dude in the projects, because he might smack the shit out of you, and he ain't gonna go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And I ain't saying don't date rich guys. I'm saying most rich guys, that's what come with the money. Like, you gonna respect me, I'll show you my powerful hand. Because if I got the mayor, like this dude on this white dude, it comes out that he's known in Zanzibar. So he's frequent there. And he's rich. So this white dude know all the police. He know the people there. He know how to, and he got away with murder. He got away, just like you said. If you rich, you over there mouthing off. You ain't in America, number one, so the police ain't the same. It's a poor country. They can be bribed off for nothing. So If you over there, you with the rich dude, you don't see how vulnerable she is. I think the real lesson would have been get back home. Fuck trying to get the last word. Now I know I don't want to be one of them dudes to victim blame and blame Jenae, because I'll be a hypocrite. I was just saying don't do that. Let's look at the man, which we should. But if I had to say anything to the female side, that is what I would say.
Yeah, man. Like it's so interesting. Like the look, I'm not very popular on YouTube here, but for a while, like I was pushing some content called The Art of War. And I did that because I felt like people just need to understand basic stuff. But I think that women should really like consider the art of war in their relationships or in their dating, because what ends up happening, you can find yourself in a tactical disadvantage. And I hate to sound too technical, but look, you can judge people on a lot of different factors: their skin complexion, the amount of money they make, their height, their strength, and everything else. But you also have to consider psychology, or their mindset, or even their intelligence, or their propensity, their tendency to do certain types of things. Now you have to basically run a psychological metric. But at the same time, what you're trying to do is just always make sure that you don't put yourself at a tactical disadvantage, where, like Brother Sanchez was mentioning, yo, you're dealing with somebody who's a millionaire. This person could pay for all kind of stuff that you would never imagine. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to keep that in mind. So dating up, hypergamy might not be as safe as people try to make it seem, right? Even though you do want to date up if you can. But likewise, I do think that from the bigger picture perspective, we all represent more than just our individual selves, right? So Ashlee paints a portrait or caricature of a Black woman that could fit almost anybody. And the old adage is what? Be careful of the white man, right? That's the old one. They tried to kind of wash it out, but they said be careful of him. And so confirmation bias is always looking for someone to live inside. So because everybody wants to confirm that what somebody told them way back when was true. So now they say, we told you, stay away from the white man. Now that's not necessarily logical, but it is something that you should expect people to ascertain from it, because it just kind of makes sense, deductive reasoning, right? But the bigger picture is that women, y'all need to always put yourself in a position where you're not necessarily a tactical advantage, and you absolutely know that you have a psycho-emotional hold over whoever you're dealing with or relationship that you could trust, even though I don't recommend trust nowadays. And then men, you guys need to be doing inner work. You need to be tapping into God or something that is greater than you, that pushes you to be good. Yeah. Okay.
I do have one point of contention, Brother Sanchez. I'm sorry, who's that? Is that Sister Bethy?
Yeah, I just wanted to add this because I think I might be a little bit in disagreement with Brother Intelligence on that portion of it. To me, no matter what the race is, a lot of men and women are not raised and taught on how to be the woman of the house, how to be the man of the house, how to pick out and engage in what type of man you should gauge and learn. You got to learn the individual first. You know, a lot of women and men are not taught that. So that's why you get so many love at first sight relationships and then find out it's a nightmare. So we got to learn how to, a lot of us have to learn how to be women. And a lot of us have to learn how to be men. And we have to learn how to be in relationship. What is a relationship? What makes a good wife? What makes a good husband? What makes a good man in a relationship? What makes a good boyfriend? What makes a good girlfriend? And you got to teach them. We got to teach them more how to learn about the person first. Because a lot of us do make mistakes. A lot of us women, we do make mistakes and move a man in our homes within the first 6 months of the relationship. And the same thing with men. I refuse to put everything on women and not include the men. Same thing with the men. We don't think with our heads on how we're supposed to. A lot of our people are not familiar with the art of war. A lot of our people don't read books and things of that nature for education. So somebody else could get it, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I just wanted to, bro Sanchez, my point of contention, right, was to your comment about the rich dudes. I think, honestly, it'd be broke dudes that be more abusive to their women than rich dudes. Because here's the thing, as a rich man, your wealth and your money is your power. So your ego can rest in your wallet. But as a broke dude, the only power you have is your physical strength. And plus, couple the pressures of life with that. You know what I'm saying? For a dude that ain't got it, life is harder and it's more stressful. So the stress levels are higher, the emotional distress is higher, and the what's the word? The inclination to rely on physical force rather than, financial assets, I guess, is more, it's greater with the broke guys. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I will have to definitely disagree respectfully, because if you look at the history of disrespecting women, it's never really been something men done just for to just display power. It's been something they doing, because think about this, right? It's been associated with pimping, sort of the upscale guy, like a pimp smacking a woman or something like that. But the thing is, like, the reason why I say so is because the broke dude, she can leave him and get another. He's definitely replaceable. You can get broke dudes anywhere. So, and then the thing is about the broke dude, right? Once he get all these DV charges, that ain't good for him. But see, with the rich dudes, they smack women up all the time, and them women ain't never gonna call the police because they don't want to lose their money. Look at Cassie. Cassie was taking abuse secretly. See, the rich man got an advantage, right? Because he know he can dangle them Mercedes-Benz keys over her face, and she'll walk out there and cover that black eye up long as she wearing Gucci and Prada. See, them went, the sad thing about the rich guy and the women who with the rich guy, they actually don't mind, but actually the women don't mind taking abuse from a man with money, versus a dude who ain't got shit. Because the same woman that'll cuss back and talk back to the broke dude, she will actually let the rich dude do all kind of crazy degrading stuff to her.
That's actually a valid point, bro. I think you might have convinced me, man. I have
But your point was good. Your point was
Yeah,
very
he still
good
got
because
a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just got to look at the statistics and see who's right on that. But you got a valid point, bro. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
very
power,
valid.
the dynamic with money is just so strong. Like he said, with the dangling of the Mercedes and all that, just stuff like that, that pushes it to another level when it comes to what men or women will accept. We'll put a man in that same situation. Men will do the same. They will accept a little bit more when there's comfort of that level being given to them.
Yeah, I have to agree with Brother Sanchez for the most part, but I can't totally disagree with Citizen because, the dynamics are crazy. I've been doing a lot of studying on just human behavior and things like that, and there's a lot of dynamics that come to play. But I do agree that a man has to be broken in some way to behave like that. He has to be broken in some way. It's not just financially, though. It could be he had a bad childhood, or it could be some other factor that's going on at his job or whatever.
Just a quick interjection to Citizen Man point. Why I don't totally shoot down Citizen Man point neither. Now that I think about even more, all of the stories that I shared, those were broke dudes killing their baby mamas, right? And the thing is, let's go back to those Mercedes-Benz keys. What happens when a man don't have no Mercedes-Benz keys to jingle? He can't he can't bribe you with a new ring or nothing. Now, like Citizen Man said, it's brute force now. It's like, okay, how can I stop her from leaving me? Well, she just scared to leave me because she know that nigga beat my he'll kill me if I try to leave in a lot of cases too. So I can see both sides for sure.
I look, but just imagine this though. Imagine you're a terrible person. You have the propensity to whoop a woman's behind. You're poor. So now you only can do it on a small scale because you're not that attractive. You can only get 1 or 2 women. But imagine you have $1 million. Now you can do it on an industrial scale. Now I could abuse them on an industrial scale because now you can say, okay, all of them come to the club. Okay, all of them get naked. And then, so forth and so on. And then you could just do whatever, and then treat them bad and then, get away with it, like you said. So I do think that the dirty deeds of the rich go unnoticed, while the dirty deeds of the poor are highlighted and put on a poster board.
I think that a lot of these women who dating these rich guys get abused way more, but you don't hear about it because it's more on the line. It's more. Look at Ike and Tina. Like I could go down the line. Like in the music industry, bro, most of these dudes are with young girls that they only with them because of the positions they can bring them. That's a form of abuse, bro, because that goes into, look, if you want something that bad in life, you'll let a man smack you and do all that. I hate to bring up R. Kelly, but we know the degrading things he was doing. And guess what? No one would have said nothing about it. They would have one that never came out because the chicks don't mind you doing that if you got a lot of money and you can maybe give them their dreams of a record deal or, man, like it.
A lot of these execs have slush funds, like slush funds or hush funds. That's a thing. Like they have money set aside specifically for this purpose.
Yeah, for sure. So I think like, cause we bringing in the rich man element into the conversation because we can say, well, it's a white man, but don't forget it's a rich man because if you don't have money and status, you can't really tap into the idea of it's one thing to have ego as a man. It's another thing to have ego as a rich man. Because if I'm famous as hell and everybody know me, for example, or just say if I'm not famous though, I'm rich as hell, I'm a multi-millionaire, whatever, I expect people to respect me for my financial status and the fact that I'm a man too though. Them two things that's making my ego so inflated that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it ain't just with women though, like rich dudes don't like to be disrespected by anybody that they feel is beneath them. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and look, I'm not gonna even judge you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, brother Sanchez. When I was watching a video with you in the comments there, I can't help but use all of the skills I've gathered over the years. So I'm gathering ethnographic data as I listen to the people that are being interviewed. The way that one woman spoke, she said, "That's your girlfriend. She love you. Why you do that? She love you."
Yeah.
Right? Just understanding that language, right? Because I understand that language. I come from that language. I know that the mental constructs that were coming out of that circle of people were low. Extremely low. She love you. Come on now. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, man.
The mental
Yeah, I
constructs
hear
were
you.
low coming
And
out of
like
that.
what dude said, I can't remember who said that before, but this is a whole deeper thing, but it's spiritually. They're not, they haven't found themselves spiritually. living in they're very worldly, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And people don't realize, bro. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say to the previous brother's point, it's that lack of intelligence leads to violence because people of higher intelligence have better communication skills, and people of higher intelligence, the higher the intelligence, the higher on the intelligence scale you go, is the less likely you are to encounter violence. The lower on the scale is the more likely. So that does play a role in it too. Like Bro Sanchez, I'm sure you've had debates with, what we would characterize as dumb people, and at some point the conversation devolves and threats of violence might come up, or you know what I mean, or sneak disses or shit like that. But when you have an intellectual debate with somebody that's, on your intelligence level, y'all can go back and forth. It can get as heated as it want to be, as you want to be, but threats of violence never come up. The prospect of, me wanting to fight you will never come up because we're intellectually sound.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
But like it's a conundrum and a paradox there, because like I said, I'm a intelligence scientist basically. I do a lot of AI work, but a lot of that has an intersection with like just psychology, human behavior, and whatnot. But like peep this. It requires operational deceptive intelligence to keep your cool when someone disrespects you. Like you have to be willing to lie, right? You have to be willing to lie. Okay, I'm cool. That's a lie, but I'm gonna say it because I have the intelligence to say it. But it can be counterproductive because once that type of intelligence gets out of hand, now you got a whole bunch of people lying to you, which, yeah. Oh, wow.
I want to play this real quick, and then, because this is my fifth story, I want to just go and bring this one home and make my point.
Oh, my word. The quiet now without him. It's just so unreal.
Holding her newest grandbaby born to a separate daughter, Lily Owens is left to grieve the loss of 3 other granddaughters and their mother, Brianna Payne.
Oh, the babies were such joys. They were little tornadoes, absolute tornadoes. They would just level a place when they went through. You knew they had been there.
Aurora Payne, Ava Payne, and Elena Payne, along with their mother, Bree, the victims of a murder-suicide in Lake Station. Owen says her daughter was always with her daughters, secretary for the school's PTO, and a licensed caregiver.
And she went out of her way to help anybody, anytime, anywhere, whatever they needed. She was Johnny on the spot right there for them.
The family was discovered shot to death Friday afternoon. 31-year-old Robert Payne also died from a gunshot wound. His death ruled a suicide, according to the Lake County Coroner's Office. Catherine Presley employed Bree at her child care facility several years ago, and the 3 girls also attended there. Presley says the 2 parted ways in 2022, she says because of Bree's relationship with her husband.
Anybody who would get close to her and the kids, he wanted to create isolation.
You listen now.
We all knew.
Hold on now.
His relationship with her husband.
Anybody who would get close to her and the kids, he wanted to create isolation. We all knew that there were red flags.
Owen says just days before Bree was killed, she had told her husband she was planning to file for divorce.
Anybody suffering from mental illness, or if you have family members with mental illness, please get help. Please get help. Don't do it.
So the dude was a black dude, by the way. But the thing is, I'm pointing this out because this common, bro. This happens all the time, man. This is so damn common, bro. Go look the stats up and prove me wrong, y'all. The reason I'm pointing this out is because if this is common, it makes me pressure the community and ask the question, what are we prioritizing in these stories? What are we coming out of these stories talking about at the end of the day?
Hey, bro, there was another story I think you should cover today too. I think it's a black politician. I think he was the former mayor of St. Louis that just got found deceased in his home with his wife, and it was ruled deletion, self-deletion. The M, murder suicide. I don't want to say it, but That was that one I saw that in the news recently too. That was a few days ago, like last week or something.
Look, let me tell you
I'm gonna see.
what I take out of this particular video while we on it before we lose it. Look, what I take from this is people, y'all got to learn how to, before you decide to go on the journey of having children with folk and building a family, you got to learn what people believe. You need to understand what they believe, not what they say they believe, but what they truly believe, right? What they do, so if you are the type of person that is, you looking for something that you can call your own. You're looking for something you can call your own. You just always wanted something that you could just call your own and that there was nobody else's. It was just yours. Look, you have to be able to psychologically probe a person to find that in them, right? Because then you can find that and say, oh, I can't have children with this man. Project your future as you are dating these folk before you end up with a dude like this, because that dude had a simple problem. He really always just wanted something he could call his own. He was not accepted as a kid.
He was saying, ain't no way I can picture my life without this woman, bro. And that's when I said, as men, I think that's something we ain't intentionally put in boys when they young, like how to move on, how to, hey man, there's other women out there. Oh, I don't think that's Negroes. Maybe that's something, because this too common, man. These dudes act like I know it hurt, but man, listen, this is crazy.
These were dudes who did not have a lot of options. I'm not gonna hold back punches. This is a dude, he did have a lot of options. He had little to none. He had one. He was blessed. But you can't give scraps to a rabid dog now. Because what it's gonna do? Turn around and bite you. Come on now. If it's got that in its genetics. So I hate to get that deep, but if it's got it in its genes. He had it in his. He had the killer in his genes, man.
Yeah, this is a similar story right here. But the reason I brought this one up, because now you got a white guy with an Asian woman. You see? And the thing about this one is it proves my point. Like, it's just a certain group of dudes, period. It don't matter about color or nothing. I don't want to be told you leaving me and stuff. And like, think about what happened with Ashlee Jenae. This man had just proposed to you, and now y'all in a heated argument. So now she probably told him, you know what? I don't want to marry you now. Fuck. She probably threw the ring at him. Fuck that. That's a lot of rejection and all that. Was he the type to be like one of these dudes, couldn't handle it?
And Brother Sanchez, look, what the thing we looking for is actually really simple. It's the dark triad or the tetrad, right? Narcissism, psychopathy, and what's the other one? Sadomasochism.
You schooling me now on, hey man, I ain't know about none of this. What I do know is this right here though. In a lot of these cases, these dudes is vulnerable and they want to go to the next level and the chick don't. And what we found out about Ashlee Jenae, she had a lot of rich dudes that she was playing and like sugar daddy type stuff. That's some hey, allegedly that's what I heard. Now look, if that's the case, it will hurt his feelings. Like, you know what, I'm rich and all that. I'm giving you all this stuff. And you treat me like you can do without me, because you can. You replaceable, even though you are rich. She got other rich dudes. If that's the case, that could be one theory, but I can't say for sure. Salutes to the panel and to the chat room. I think I'm gonna go ahead. Real Truth wanna hop on, see what the brother Real Truth got for us, man. What's good, Retton and Jewel, D. Allen, Baseline Trey unveiling, Truth Appeal unfazed. What's good, Real Truth? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I wanted to tap in on this, man. It takes a pretty strong person to be in a relationship and go through a rejection, the lying. You know, you have a child, you want to be there for your child, and the girl, out lying on you, and man, you gotta be strong to walk away from all that. I mean, I'll put my personal business out there. I went through a situation like that. It if I wasn't the person that I was or am, it would made me have like all this self-doubt. You know what I'm saying? But I knew it was her. But they'll even have people around you that they, you know, might be involved with, man. And so I found all this stuff out. But the one thing that kept me up, man, to walk away from all that stuff, like, I know it's something bigger and better out there for me. I had already ran across, other females that wanted to deal with me. But I was trying to, be there for my baby mother. I was trying to be there for my daughter and just be a family or whatever. In the end, she betrayed me. I walked away. I wound up with something way better, man. Uh, 2 years later, I wound up with my own place, car paid for in Jamaica with my new baby. And I had moved to a whole nother state. So you can't walk away from stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. I'm living proof you can do it, man. And I love my daughter. That's my only daughter. So um for those guys that flip out and do this kind of stuff, man, you ain't even gotta be mentally unstable. I believe in something called snap. You just snap. I believe in that. And it can happen to a male or female. They can snap. But, that's why I think, people in general, male and females, we should learn how to respect each other. And that's what's been lost. People don't have respect for each other. And of course, with the powers that be doing all this, spending all this money to divide and conquer us, man, it's all kinds of tactics they using on us, mind control. You got to keep all this stuff in your foresight when you dealing with people. Period. So, but I'll fall back. I just wanted to say that right there.
I agree
And
with that.
and I salute you for doing this show, man. This is very important. And for
Much love.
future reference, another topic we should deal with, because a lot of us dealing with our parents, dementia.
Yeah.
I kind of figured out. I
We'll
kind
do
of
one.
figured out some stuff what they doing with that too. They tell you to stay away from cholesterol. Your brain, whatever your brain's made out of, is made out of a high percent of cholesterol. And they telling people not to take the cholesterol. I mean, they giving them cholesterol pills and telling you not to eat butter, stuff like that.
Oh wow. That's interesting, man. That's
Yes.
very interesting there. Dang. Hey man,
So
shout out
Yeah,
to
he talking
Leonard
about that
Robinson.
HD, that
Yeah.
L.
Oh, okay.
mhm.
Yeah, Leonard Robinson. Salutes to my people in Mobile, Alabama. Appreciate the love, Leonard Robinson. You 1 of 10, helping us reach our goal.
But yeah, I'll fall back, man. And he know what I'm talking
Thank
about.
you,
That's some
Leonard.
deep stuff. This has been uncovered here recently. My mother's coming down
I'm
with
gonna do a show in the future here. It's just gonna be open panel, and we just gonna cover all of these kind of stuff like this as well, man. You got my word on it.
Hey, I appreciate that. I'm falling
Yeah, for
back, all
sure.
right?
Oh yeah. Salutes
All
to
right.
that.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I got a loaded clip. I have a banana clip for respect. I have a banana clip for mind control, and I got a banana clip for self-defense, which is I think we need to go ahead and load that banana clip right now. The self-defense banana clip. Everybody has to get that. You've got to get basic self-defense because there's a certain turning point in situations where it's like, look, this person is, false detaining me or you know what I'm saying? This person is false. What they call that? False imprisoning me. They false
Yeah.
imprisoning me. So you need to know self-defense on what you need to do to get up out of there. Kick him in the nuts and run. Hey, kick him in the nuts hard as you can and run. All right. That's the first First one.
Yeah, I put my daughter in self defense class. We were taking taijutsu, and man, they got this wrist lock. Like if somebody grab your wrist, you just slide your wrist right around there and put
You
your
know what?
forearm on their elbow. Yep. Go ahead.
Let me give you this, cause I know you finna go into a wrist lock, but y'all saying the first line. The first line is mace and taser. When y'all agree.
Well, what if you can't get to that? You just got yourself. That's why.
Well,
If you can't get to it.
shout out to Tara Love. She said, "Love this topic, Sanchez. Thanks for all that you do. Much love." Thank you, Tara Love. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Tara.
Hey, look, taser, mace. Look, that's a priority, or that's a preference, but the baseline would have to be something along the lines of a wrist lock. Even though I would say learning how to fall might actually be the first thing.
So what I would say is this: the first line of defense, if you want the upper hand in any situation, is to weaponry. Charleston White show us that, and here, man, that man has stood the test in front of goons with his pepper spray. Shout out to Bridget Robinson. She says, "Salute, bro Sanchez. I appreciate your hard work and dedication to your work." Hold up. See, let me explain something.
Every grown man. Oh, go ahead, Sunshine.
Yeah, if you've ever done security, you know that, yes, you're all right. You want to know wrist locks. You want to know how to get physical. But guess what? The moment you engaged in a hand-to-hand combat, you already in a bad place, man. You want to be able to have this nigga on the ground for anything pop off, rubbing his eyes, saying, "Oh, I can't see. Oh, put some water on my fucking eyes." Hey, man, you shouldn't. Hey, you was approaching me. And women, you can have that power. And you got to train on how to draw that shit real fast. You got to have you a knife in your titty, bra. The mace right here with the gun right here with the taser right there. You got to be gadgets. Trinkets, and then when
You
all
gotta learn,
that
you gotta
failed,
learn the basic rules
and when all that
of
failed,
range control, control.
And when all that failed, then you want to have your physical combat on point too. Let me give a big shout out to Big Dog Philly, man, for being 4 of 10, helping us reach this goal. I appreciate the love. You got it, Luella.
You want to make sure you keep the distance. Like see, like there's a lot of first entry points into self-defense, but I think that based on, you know, just analyzing and understanding and synthesizing what everybody's saying, and especially Brother Sanchez, Big Dog, the most important thing is understanding perhaps range control, like how to keep somebody at a certain distance from you, or what to do if they are at a close distance, like knowing what to do at the different levels of distance. If they're far enough away, like 6 feet away, you got to exit, then yes, escape. But if they're within inches of you, then you need to know how to create distance, especially if they're stronger than you. Because you're not trying to WrestleMania like ISO speed with Brett or whatever, all the different WE people. You're not trying to do that because you ain't going to win unless you are really trained and have a lot of other skills. There's actually about 400 of them, 398 of them that I put together. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, y'all. On the point though, you definitely want to also have your hand-to-hand stuff. But what I'm saying, once a woman in a fight with a man, she automatically in a bad position, or she want to have the upper hand some kind of way prior to that happening. I'm telling you, a blade, it's a lot of tools out there that'll make a nigga get back when you tell him to. And
so yeah, I would train her. Yeah. I would definitely have to train her up in some weapon retention, because the thing that I would be afraid of at that close range is that she would be disarmed.
Yep.
And then the weapon would be used against her.
Yeah,
hey, that was one of the things
too. Yeah.
That was one of the things they was teaching us in class. The sensei was like, look, I've seen people have weapons. They had the upper hand, but if somebody quick enough, or you You could just be distracted for a second. And he was like, this is why self-defense is so important. And when the first move they showed us in the whole class was when somebody grab your wrist and try to yank you away. And man, when he did that thing, man, and showed my daughter, man, it was so easy for her to just protect herself. It was like, it was crazy. So, but yeah, they got to be trained with the weapons because you could hurt yourself with the weapons.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the main thing is having the right mentality. That's why I stress intelligence, even though sometimes it's not the right word, but it's mentality, having the right mind frame to see what is about to happen within the next 6 minutes or so. Am I about to be beat up within the next 6 minutes? If so, I need to take these steps. If not, I shall be beat, right? You got to be able to foresee at least 6 minutes into the future, right? That's how you win a fight. Well, that's how you that's how you keep your life, because it happens within 6 minutes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. When Ashlee Jenae came up unalive, it didn't take them no time to say, "Oh, suicide." And I'm telling you, this dude had already, with his money and power, that was basically his little town, man. Like, he know, man, I can get away with anything here. And I want to bring that up because the sister didn't have environmental awareness, because, like, she didn't realize how much of a disadvantage she was at. Because even if the worst do happen, no one gonna even get justice because of like, if you research Zanzibar before you go, the police have a high bribery corruption level. And this brother rich, so I'm putting 2 and 2 together on how they came back right off the back. Suicide. Come on, man. Y'all it just happened, goddammit. Spend some more time on it, you know.
And I'm gonna tell you something else crazy about this word Zanzibar. I remember I used to live in Maryland, and these guys talked about this club called the Zanzibar. Everybody used to go there. I never wound up going there. I did go to clubs, but I never went there. So this is back in the 90s, right? Zanzibar. So then, just last week, this African girl, she was talking about some kind of Zanzibar, if it's a city, a town, or whatever that place is, Zanzibar. She's talking about how the money is and you can build over there and whatever. Now today I get on this show, you talking about something happened at a Zanzibar. This Zanzibar just been hitting me back to back for like the last 2 weeks, man. It's crazy. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, man.
Tonight, the man wanted for murdering the woman who was pregnant with his baby remains on the run. The victim, identified as Ashlee Allen. Her family reported her missing a week ago today. Tragically, her body was discovered yesterday in a Southwest Houston park. And hours after that, police named the suspect.
Here's a picture. His first name is Kevin Foe, and
okay, we played this one. I thought it was a new one. My bad. Nah, but see, a lot of people have a problem with what I'm doing. They'll say, Sanchez, why you focusing on black men while this sister dead? Because I'm focusing on domestic violence and men violence against women. And all of these cases I'm showing are women just like Ashlee Jenae, who's been unalived by some dude who is, in my opinion, mentally or spiritually weak. Because one thing you got to learn how to do as a man is realize, though, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, you can be hurt. Like, the whole thing, rejection too. Like, you gotta realize if you even pursuing a woman, she may even try to hurt your feelings just for trying to holler at her, stuff like that. Dudes will spit on chicks, I'm just saying, like, what the conversation that I be want to have with stuff like this be, what make y'all dudes get, yeah, these chicks turn up, but I found out you can make these chicks really mad by you know, like rubbing it off or something, like laughing it off and shit. they'll run up that you want to fight because they words ain't getting to you. But I don't know, man. I'm a
All I know is wrestling with a woman is supposed to be fun. If you, for me, like as a man, it's supposed to be a fun thing, not a. I'm trying to really hurt you or put you in an ambulance type thing. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be fun. That's part of, I don't know. That's just me.
Hey, you know what? And I noticed growing up too, man. These females, they be making bad choices. The guys, man, they don't like the
oh
nice
yeah,
guys.
man. Yeah, man.
Nice guys finish last. They like these crazy motherfuckers.
And then and another thing be these females got some real triggering shit they can do to niggas, and that's when niggas gotta be strong. For example, if you got babies with the chick, I'm gonna give you another example. Look at all these rappers, right? Soon as these rappers fall out with their baby mama, what they baby mama go do? Get with their enemy. So you gonna take my kids around the nigga that was just shooting at me?
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
And see, look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be real, like candid. Like we wonder where everybody is when all the evidence is around us. Who's got the views? Brother Sanchez got some of the views. He don't have enough for what he do, for what he does. You know, let me speak proper English for you guys. But the views are on people like what? NBA YoungBoy, right? That's programming these people. These people are following the templates created by certain other folk who had certain type of tragic backstories, all type of mixed up entities and whatnot. So, you know, and that's going to be what? Disseminating and spreading through the community that it's targeted at. It's targeted. It's marketing targeted for what? A certain type of lifestyle that's going to lead to what? Certain industries profiting. You got to look at, okay, what's the chain of connection between the industries that profit from certain types of behavior? And then you can see the money tie right back around to boom, people like, I don't really like to call people all the way out, but it's like people like Baby, and I mean not Baby, but he was like one of the OG ones started it. But like Baby, Wayne, all these dudes, Jay-Z, all these people. I don't even need to name everybody. There's only a few good ones out there. I like Cameron and Mace.
Yeah, I grew up listening to all these guys. I can't blame them. I gotta look at the fathers first, or the lack thereof. You know. And,
Well, yeah, we can't blame them, but like when you really think about it, the music is mind control. This part of the mind control banana clip. Music is mind control. Music makes information able to penetrate your conscious mind. If you play a song in the right sort of a way, you remember stuff better. Even if you don't have the song, you just have melody, like the ABCs.
Remember
right?
they said the vibrations in the music, like the hertz, you know what I'm saying? Like they were controlling.
Right. It's not like gospel music is the vibe that people are wanting. Now, even people like Kurt Franklin, he'll take the vibe from the streets or the vibe from the club or the vibe from wherever and bring that and make his music. Right now, you have some other people still making their music, but it has like a whole different program. I'm here to say that, and I think this is why the record industry is so big. This is part of what is like the central focus of the mind control programs. It switched to music after it left the CIA. Oh yeah, and they're in the movies. They've been in the movies for a while too. Now,
but see, even though y'all right, what I was saying was I can't bring up music as a priority when it comes to DV. I don't know if I can go in with music as a big factor in that area as much as it is niggas' ego being hurt, men being taught that women should be overly submissive type shit and all this type shit, you know.
right. See, but like I feel like we got to look at all the sources of instructions or possible instructions for, you know, that type of behavior. Because look,
let's start with the Bible.
The Bible don't tell her to do that, do it?
Yeah, shit. Listen, men who treat women this way justified with the Bible.
I thought that was the
Bible
Quran.
to justify it. It's the Bible too.
I thought that was the.
It's the Bible too.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more scholarship on that verse. Now I normally have my biblical intelligence all the way up.
Don't you know that when the children of Israel was going around raiding people's lands in the name of their God, taking their lands, their God told them you can do whatever you want to do with the women and children, because that's seen like not even all the way human in their culture. It's like cattle.
Well, that ain't it necessarily DV. That ain't DV.
What do you
but
mean?
Yeah, V. It's V, but it's not DV.
That's DV, because check it out. What we're saying is this: the mentality that perpetuates DV is justified morally. Just for example, Lou Ellen, let's say there's someone out there touching girls underage, and they say, well, it says right here in the Bible I can do it. I'm telling you that a lot of men who treat women this way, they morally justify it with the Bible before they even become rappers. They don't think they're doing nothing wrong. I'm giving you the foundation on a spiritual level. Because these rappers will tell, because most rappers, if you get them into a deep conversation, they will go right to the Adam and Eve story and let you know that the woman is the cause of all sin. She the one messed us up in the first place. She's beneath me. She need to shut the hell up with when men talking with her apple biting ass. She can't even follow in orders and be obedient to God. She's the first human to disobey God and mess every damn thing up. So this is where the Bible has put the role of the woman in the book itself, started in Genesis. You do see this, right?
Okay, I do really like how you tie the original sin. This is epic. This is academic. You tie the original sin into, DV.
We got to.
And that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I'm not even gonna hold you. Look, that makes a lot of sense. Even though I can see how people could justify that had they internalized it. But what about those folks who were not, biblically inspired or necessarily raised in a biblical environment, who didn't necessarily know Genesis like that? I mean, I guess it'll still get to them, because in a way that could be seen as a primary
explain something to you.
Mind control. Project Eve. Actually, that is a project.
I got you, brother. Do you know what a patriarchal culture is?
A patriarchal culture?
Yeah.
Nah.
Let me read y'all some scriptures, because a lot of people think I'm just making stuff up. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 22 through 25. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Now, that don't seem like nothing wrong with that, right? Now, watch this, right?
Ephesians, I never had a problem with Ephesians.
I got you. I'm finna show you something, though. Keep reading. Let's go to Corinthians 11:3. It says the head of the woman is the man. And then if you keep reading on, it'll go on and say that the head of the man is like God. So let me just break some down to you real quick. In the red pill community, they are Christians. We call them far-right Christians, radical Christians. And for example, let's use Jesse Lee Peterson. What they teach with the Bible, based on them three scriptures, those scriptures I just read, is that the order in the household is God first, man second, women and children last. Now I'm gonna tell you some real shit. In the ancient world, it wasn't no order of man first, woman last, God above, and all that stuff, right? It was yin and yang, man and woman side by side, functioning in unison as an equal pair. versus women functioning beneath men in this submissive role. So I'm using scriptures right now to show y'all we live in a patriarchal society, and they justify the male dominating the household with the Bible. So even if the woman work and the man lay on his ass all day, she got to give him the check, shut the hell up, do all that, and that you'll see that happening sometime. And niggas will be running shit. Man, you think I'm making this up? And a lot of these cases I'm showing you where these dudes killing their baby mama, she's the breadwinner in a lot of these damn cases. I'm just saying.
Right. They always gonna bite the hand that feed them, because they rabid dogs. You know what I'm saying? I'm of the group that it's their propensity, it's in their genetics in a way, and it's in their psychic or their mind space. It's something that they open themselves to. I think a lot of people have the potential or capability of doing some bad things, but they never do it because they never had the mindset that allowed that. They never had opened themselves up to the environment that would allow them to do these heinous acts. Like, so in a way, like the scripture and the text can always be open to interpretation. So like the open-ended things are always liable to be used in ways that they were not prescribed, or what I'm saying, people can always infer. But like I don't see a problem with a man being the CEO, so to speak, of his household, right? There's no issue with the woman being the CEO of her household, right? But as you suggested, these people be partners, not necessarily one above the other, or making a final decision based on a certain endpoint. But I think that type of business structure is the most viable. So I think the households that have that structure to their household, like a nuclear structure, have a higher chance of survival. But at the same time, there are other structures that could be used, but most of them are more complicated because we use the polygamous structure. We could have all types of polygamy. Some groups say you can have 2, others say you can have 4. You got Quran, you got some people following the Quran, you got people following the Book of Mormon. People have different structures for what an official relationship should look like, or a marriage should look like. And if you don't like the one that's out here, then of course you have to do your own, but you want to justify why you doing what you're doing. Well, you don't have to, but if you can get away with it, do it. But at the same time, to tear down a foundational structure that we see across even like royal kingdoms and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You got a king and a queen, and then they got the court with the dukes and the nobles and all that. Like, they got a structure, they got a monarchy. But see, what type of government you gonna have? Or who is really solidifying power? What is power? Who is really making things happen? That's really what matters. If she's the breadwinner, then it was her responsibility to use her executive function to not hire or have somebody in the business that's got this, bad karma, so to speak, if it's more of a yin yang or Eastern way of speaking. Because that's real bad karma, right? You just so happen to get with somebody that was going to take you out.
Well, again, I blame the guy in all these cases, because we got to teach men how to control themselves at their most vulnerable and emotional states. It's psychological. Shout
But bro,
out to the people
isn't
in
that
the
just
chat
funny
room.
on top of? Ain't that just funny on top though? Like, teach them how to control themselves. How can you teach somebody how to control themselves?
Because when you have a young man, it's your role as a father to teach him how to be a man, right? You show them the things that's allowed and not allowed amongst manhood, right? And if you raise a child in the way they're supposed to be, that'll be all they know. That'll just how they naturally conduct themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's how you do it.
See, that's fatherhood. Fatherhood is not necessarily teaching. Like I do
Yes, it
agree
is.
that the good fathers. No, I agree
I
that good
want you to
fathers will
repeat what you
teach.
just said.
No, I want you to connect the dots, because these necessarily paragraphs, not necessarily like just single sentences.
I'm
right?
simplifying
I'm saying,
stuff, man, because you know what? I ain't gonna even lie to you, brother. If you replay the video, you saying a lot, but I'm really still trying to see what you're saying. You need to be very clear, precise, concise, and just brief and simple. I'm saying something very simple. You just said something about the chick getting karma. If we gonna look at it that way, if a nigga unalive her, it's her fault because of karma, and she got to have executive knowledge not to choose these type dudes, all that. I said, as men, you know what? We need to raise better men that realize, hey, when you at your most emotional and vulnerable state, you don't have to murder some damn body. How about that? Because what about the cases where they murder the children too? Whether we gonna victim blame the children? I was just making
but I'm saying we as men,
I was just making a
men
rational
do not.
Well, you go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, brother.
You know what? You are tracking what I'm saying, and I am tracking too. If you see my notes, you see I'm tracking as well. But like, essentially, all I'm saying is that, look, men are not necessarily responsible for other men. That's the lie.
You responsible for
Men
your
are not
boy.
responsible for other men. That
Listen
would be
what I'm
something from
telling
the
you.
Bible. That would be some more Bible.
Hold up a second. That's what I keep saying about you, brother. You talking loud and you ain't listening, and it's embarrassing at this point. Your son ain't a man yet, but it's your job to make him a man. I'm being very clear, but you're not listening. I don't know what's wrong with your comprehension skills, brother, and I'm not even being funny. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Men are responsible for creating men. You take a boy and you turn him into a man. If you can't do that, you shouldn't have no damn boys. You shouldn't have kids if you can't turn a boy into a man. Then you the reason there's some big ass boys out there walking around, and when they don't get their way, they kill you, and they still gonna beat you up and do that. No, that's what I'm telling you. I'm having an accountability situation, giving men a responsibility to have a preventive method of behavior, to where we nip this shit in the bud at the very manufacturing process. Nigga, these niggas gotta come from somewhere. They come from niggas like, let me stop. But the point I'm making, bro, I'm very simple, man. I'm not telling you responsible for another man. I'm telling you responsible for turning your boy into a man that ain't gonna be like these niggas we seeing, because apparently somebody failed them who wasn't there. We can break the cycle right there at the seed. How we missing that? I'm being very simple. You're just taking what I'm saying and you hearing something else. I don't know what you're doing, but when you unmute, you ain't addressing really what I'm saying, brother. Right? And just like now, you worrying about being muted versus hearing, and you don't think what you're doing is disrespectful. I'm giving you a platform. I'm making very simple points, and you ignoring them and saying what you want to say afterward. So now you're forcing me to say, hey, brother, I didn't say that. I didn't say be responsible for other men. You're forcing me to have to say, brother, you're being disrespectful because you're not giving me listening skills. I need you to listen to me and not make up things that I'm saying. I ain't gonna do that to you either. So when you start off saying, well, we ain't responsible for other men, I agree with that, but that ain't what I was saying, and I don't want to waste time when we agree with something versus you missing what I'm saying about us starting with the boys. Simple. But yeah, salutes to you, man. Other than that, it's a good bill. It's just got a little off track with you know, misconstruing my words, brother. So shout out to Real Truth and also Sun Tzu as well. And I'm gonna drop the link out there if anybody else want to join. think what I'm saying is very clear. What I'm saying is making all the accountability go back to the men. Period. Period. There go the link for anybody that want to join. Salutes to y'all. We're going to give people some, and shout out to everyone that was helping us reach our goal, man. Appreciate y'all. We're going to go ahead and close this one out then, people, because I don't think we getting no new people hopping on. And let me say shout out to the people that joined. It was a fire conversation between all of y'all brothers and sisters. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and much love.